a couple million. Bitches. All up in the range, new friends, my ends don't meet till I make it market bend. Hey. Gotta make the market into all my needs again as ATM, I gotta get it. Time to take a loss, yes, it costs, get this bread, yeah, you know I'm with it. I just move space, yeah, you know I got a counter, so you know I got a blue face. Ice on froze, drip, drop, I flow, no Elias, I guess I'm on a new wave. Porsches, blasted, flip, gymnastics, count so fast, I'm stacked, paid. I'ma just blast with that chairman rank, all the way through that forest, man. I'ma rip, no foam here, don't forget. When the candles hit the line, kiss. See, I'ma enter off in this buying out. I'ma keep rising, flipping accounts, so God got cash, I'ma be grinding. Throwing them beats up for that BTS, they got stopped out all over the face. This is a blue party and just started yet. March car about to catch a case, I'm just every boss gotta take a loss. Every boss gotta take a loss. Every boss gotta take a loss. Gotta take a loss. Yeah, Delaware Nation. What you know about that 50-50? Signature trade, signature entry, signature exit. We making money. Yeah. And let's go.
Let me see you. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity. Let me see you. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity.
Yeah, I got that red, I got that yellow, got that blue. Got that gray, I got that aqua too. In the face, EMH, yeah they rule. Off the 50s, how my bankroll grew. Can't no one stop me when I play. AUD bout to rocket, I place a trade. They be losing and hating all in my face. Consistently beating the market, make it easy. Damn, you foot to the left, yeah, one time. Pick it up, drop it low, yeah.
I'm a dog.
We gotta bounce, that will blow your mind. Your friend is cute, this trade is fun. Move your foot to the left, yeah, one time. Pick it up, drop it low, yeah, on the drum. Watch it bounce, real tight up all that 50 line. Today, the market make it better, give me mine.
Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity. Let me see you. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce. Pity. Let me see you.
Let me put you on game real quick. When the red and yellow split, listen, hope you get this. I won't say it again, I won't repeat it. Gloss has got you heated. Count stay empty, depleted. M&W off the aqua, man, watch it kiss. Catch a D-Lo, if the shift you straight up miss. Ride it all the way to TP or an exit. All in blue squad, D-Lo, let's get it, yeah. Move your foot to the left, yeah, one time. Pick it up, drop it low, yeah.
I'm a dog.
We gotta bounce, that will blow your mind. Your friend is cute, this trade is fun. Move your foot to the left, yeah, one time. Pick it up, drop it low, yeah, on the drum. Watch it bounce, real tight up all that 50 line. Today, the market make it better, give me mine.
Pity, bounce. Pity, bounce.
You know how we catch these trades.
Pity, bounce. Pity. Let me see you. Pity, bounce. Pity,
that yellow, got that blue. Got that gray, I got that aqua. Too. NFAs, EMAs, yeah, they rule. Off the 50s, how my bankroll grew. I got that red, I got that yellow, got that blue. Got that gray, I got that aqua. Too. NFAs, EMAs, yeah, they rule. Off the 50s, how my bankroll grew.
You let me see you. Pity, 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 bounce, pity, 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 bounce, pity, pity, pity.
Yo, what's going on, family? What's up, guys? What is the word? What is going on, family? What is going on?
Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hey, pity, bounce, pity, bounce, pity, bounce, pity, bounce, pity.
Nah, blast that. Hey,
It's that fitty bounce right here, baby. Fitty. Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all tonight. How are you guys feeling in the chat today, family? Are you guys excited for a brand new week? Let me know in the chat. Yes. Fitty. Bounce. No, I might have to run that back one more time. How you feeling, Kyle? You feeling great over there, bro?
yo, I'm lit off this music, man. Blast that thing.
yeah. Go ahead and drop those locations in the chat, family. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from right now, family, because we are live right now. Let's get it.
Let me see you.
Fitty, bounce, fitty,
Bounce.
hey,
Bounce. Pity, bounce. Bounce.
fitty.
I got that yellow, got that blue. Got that gray, I got that aqua too.
Yeah.
NFAs, EMAs, yeah, they rule.
Turn up.
Off the 50s, how
Turn
my
up.
bankroll grew.
Yeah.
Can't no one stop me when I play. AUD bout to rocket, I place a trade. They be losing and hating all in my face. Consistently beating the market, make it easy. Damn, use foot to the left, yeah,
One time.
Pick it up, drop it low, yeah. I'm a dog. We gotta bounce. That will blow your mind. Your friend is cute. This trade is fun. Move your foot to the left, yeah, one time. Pick it up, drop it low, yeah, on the drum. Watch it bounce real time.
What's going on, family? Let me see who we got in the building with us today. Fitty. Hey. Fitty, bounce, fitty. I see we got Stockton, California in the building. We got ATL. What's up? Cincinnati, Ohio. London in the building. What's going on, favorite? We got Houston, Scotland, Houston, Texas in the house as well. We got Kylie in the building. What is going on? What is up, Alex? How are you feeling, Alex? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. We got Swaziland in the building. Hey. By the way, this whole song is all about trading, by the way. Shout out to that boy Tyrone, man. He got a whole trading playlist, man. Fitty. But, all right, let's go ahead and calm down one time real quick, because I'm over here too hyped up. I'm getting sweaty, and we didn't even start the session yet, family. So what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys in the building. I see we got Sydney, Australia is fire here today. Hottest day in 2 years. Sheesh. Man, I can't wait to go to Australia. I really cannot wait to go to Australia. It's going to be an absolute vibe, man. I see we got Vermont in the building. Kyle, we got North Carolina. Inglewood in the house. New Zealand. What is going on, family? We got a bunch of phenomenal people in the building. Super excited to be here with you guys all tonight. I truly believe it's going to be a phenomenal week, this family, or at least a phenomenal week this week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling really good about it, really positive about it. I see a lot of setups that are actually forming very nicely as well that we're going to go over for today. You know, I do have the young legend, young lion with us tonight, Mr. Kyle in the building. Kyle, my brother, how you feeling, bro? You still hyped up over there? How are you feeling about this week, bro? You feeling good about this week?
Hell yeah. I'm about to be hella aggressive for the first part of this week because it's NFP week on Friday. NFP is on Friday. So y'all know how we like to rock. You know, we like to be in trades before NFP. So we can go ahead and see if the release can help us further our trades that we're already in. So, you know, I don't really like trading during the actual NFP release, but, you know, I like trading prior to NFP so we can go ahead and catch a bag and be in some setups before that news release on Friday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be actually crazy week this week, family. We have a ton of news, a ton of events that could really make this week probably one of the craziest weeks. And I truly believe it's one of those weeks that's really gonna give us a lot of insight into in terms of sentiment as well, guys, right? Because over the past few weeks, right, I mean this entire year so far, a lot of the data has really been mixed, right? We had a lot of positive data come out, we had a lot of negative data come out, but I think the news events that come out this week are definitely gonna help us decide as terms of what we expect the markets to actually do, so it's definitely gonna be a week that I'm truly excited about. But before we even get into the news, family, let's go ahead and smash the like button one time. If you guys ever gotten some value from us, if you guys do look forward to getting value from us today, let's go ahead and get these likes up. The goal for right now is 100 likes, right? So I need every single one of you guys just to go ahead and smash that like button one time. And as we get more people in the call, obviously let's encourage them as well to smash the like button so we can go ahead and accomplish our like goal for today, family, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I appreciate you guys all that do end up smashing that like button. You guys are truly helping us out, right? Like, you guys don't understand, smashing that like button, family, which is a free thing to do. It takes 2 seconds to do, right? Doing that does help us out tremendously, right? And we really appreciate you guys that do take time out of your guys' night to go ahead and just do that. We try to come on these sessions every single Sunday right here on YouTube, and we try to give you guys the most value possible, right? Something that can help you guys overall throughout this entire week as well. So thank you guys ahead of time for those that are doing it. For those of you guys that eventually do it, thank you as well. Now let's go ahead and get straight into the news for the week, family, so we can get right into the markets and see what type of setups we could be looking for going into this week, right? Now I'm actually very interested to see, what Kyle's bias is going to be, for the dollar, right? And we're going to get into that in a few, right? I want to get through the news first, right? But I know I'm very interested to see what his thoughts are, so we're going to get right into him after the news. But then I'm also going to, be giving my thoughts as well to see if we're, in alignment this week or if we're still looking at completely different things, right? And we're going to have the discussion as to why we are looking at the markets a certain way as well, so that you guys can go ahead and make a bias on your own, right? Make your own decision as to what you guys believe can happen as well, right? So I see we got Charlotte, North Carolina in the building as well. What's going on, Charlotte? I appreciate y'all. So let's go ahead and see what we got here, guys. So for tomorrow, Monday, we do have PMI data for the pound. We have PMI data for the Canadian dollar. We also have some retail sales and the interest rate decision with the rate statement, all for the Australian dollar tomorrow as well. So again, if you guys are trading any Aussie pairs, CAD pairs, or pound pairs, please be mindful. These are some very heavy events that are getting released for each of these currencies. So it's gonna bring some volatility to the markets, guys. Right now, if you guys are new to the fundamental side of things, don't look at it too deep right now. It might drive you crazy. Just be mindful of when. Be mindful of the time that they're getting released, right? You don't want to be trying to trade during a time, guys, when news actually releases and you're not prepared for the volatility that comes with it, right? So, just be mindful of when it's getting released so that you can either just stay out of the market completely, or if you're in some positions already, you can go ahead and protect yourself overall, just in case volatility does pick up like crazy, right? But the one I'm going to be interested in is definitely going to be the rate statement and the interest rate decision for the Aussie, because I want to see what they're planning on doing. As of right now, they're planning a 25 basis point rate hike, which is pretty much on board with a lot of the major central banks as of right now. So we'll see what happens with that though overall. Going into Tuesday, guys, we do have Chairman Powell testifying, right? He is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. He is the big homie. He is the big dog. In fact, one would argue that he's probably the most powerful, head of a central bank out there. Why? Because he's the head of the central bank over here in the U.S., right? He's the head of the central bank, that operates the strongest economy in the world, right? That's controlling the number one currency in the world with the U.S. dollar, right? It's the number one currency reserve in the world. So, Jerome Powell is definitely the big homie, family. So whatever he says on Tuesday can absolutely shake up these markets, right? And I'm going to be interested for it, and we will actually be live, be able to see exactly what he says live inside of the premium community. So if you guys are a part of the premium, be ready for that, because we will be watching that live together to see what he says. And then, based off what he actually says, we'll be able to come up with some type of sentiment moving forward, right? So that's going to be interesting. Going into Wednesday, guys, we do have President Lagarde speaking as well. She is the actual the president of the ECB, the European Central Bank, right? Obviously, they hold a lot of weight as well, so please be mindful of that. 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have ADP non-farm employment change coming out as well. They are actually expecting an increase in that number, a very big jump in that number, so we'll see how that comes out. Federal Chairman Powell is also testifying on Wednesday at the same exact time, 10 a.m. We will also be live, to watch that in real time as well to see what he's going to talk about then. Followed by that, we do have the JOLTS job openings report to see how our labor market is in terms of job openings. For the Canadian dollar, we do have the interest rate decision for the CAD as well, guys. They're expecting to actually keep rates the same right now, right? So they actually might be pausing, rate hikes for the CAD, and that could be very, very telling, guys, in terms of what can actually happen for the strength or the weakness for the Canadian dollar. So that's going to be very interesting. That's going to be the first central bank, at least out of the major central banks, to actually pause rate hikes. You got to understand how that could really shake up these markets overall, family, right? So we're going to be very, very mindful of that for sure on Wednesday at 10 a.m. And we're going to see what we can come up with based off of how the market reacts initially, right? Then to finish out Wednesday, we do have GDP getting released for the Japanese yen. Obviously, this is going to be a big deal to see what that actually comes out as, see if their actual economy is growing or if it's starting to contract. Obviously, a contracting economy right now for all the other major central banks is what's really warranted right now to try to help fight inflation. But the Bank of Japan and over there in Japan in general, guys, they have seen inflation as well, but not nearly as drastic as anywhere else. So it's going to be interesting to see how the market reacts based off what this actually comes out as. Right now, Thursday, we do have some initial jobless claims. We do have the monetary policy statement as well for the Bank of Japan, which can give us some insight as to what they're planning on doing over there. As of right now, they still want to keep rates negative. Okay, they still have negative interest rates. It's like one of the only major central banks that are still negative while everybody else is hiking. They kept their rates negative. So, this could give us some insight into what their plans are moving forward, right? Now, in Friday, guys, right, at midnight, there is a press conference for the Japanese yen as well that could really shake up the markets. Now, to finish out Friday, we do have some GDP for the pound. We do have some CPI for the euro. We also have non-farm payrolls, guys, for the U.S. dollar at 8:30 a.m. following the unemployment rate as well. And we also have the employment change for the CAD. And to finish it out, we do have, President Lagarde is also going to be speaking once again for the euro. Now, I believe on Friday, the thing that I'm going to be paying attention to the most is definitely going to be, obviously, the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. The one thing that the U.S. has over here, guys, right? The one thing that is really still a cause of concern for the Federal Reserve is how tight our labor market is, right? We have an extremely tight labor market, right? We're talking about unemployment rate at 3.4%, which is very, very low. Now, in normal market conditions, that's normally a great thing. But since we're not in normal market conditions and we're dealing with high inflationary market conditions, that is very concerning because that means there's a lot of people still employed, which means there's a lot of money that's still circulating, all right? And whenever there's a lot of money still circulating, that means people are going to be spending, right? The U.S. is a consumer-driven economy, guys, right? So when we get money, we spend it. If we have money, we spend it. So that is very, very, very concerning, especially if we still are trying to get inflation back towards 2%. Inflation is at 6%, so we still have a ways to go. So depending on how that comes out as, it could really, really shake the markets overall. And yeah, I mean, we have a ton of data for this week, family, a ton of news events. We have 2 major central banks doing interest rates decisions. We have a couple central banks with non-farm payrolls and unemployment decisions. We have a bunch of, central banks dealing with GDP. I mean, it's a lot, guys, that's going to happen. So again, be mindful. It's going to be a very, very volatile week, in my opinion, from start to end. Now, again, volatility is a professional trader's best friend. So that's nothing to be scared of if you are a professional. But if you are a newer trader, then it could be a very crazy week for you overall. So please, please, please lower your risk. This is not one of those weeks, family, especially if you are not experienced. This is not one of those weeks to be over leveraging. You should never over leverage. But this is definitely one of those weeks that you want to take a step back and be like, yo, I know there's a ton of news coming. Let me not even play myself. Let me not even put myself in a position to even blow my account, right? So let me go ahead and actually, for once, follow my rules. No disrespect to anybody, right? But for once, let me follow my rules. Let me be disciplined. And let me actually, risk 1%, maybe 2% at the max per setup for this entire week, right? And even that is a little bit of aggressive, right? 1 or 2% could still be aggressive depending on who you actually ask. Right, so it's going to be a very interesting week overall, guys, that we have to be very, very mindful of, right? Now, cool thing for all of you guys that are inside of the premium community, we will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to watch a lot of this stuff, right? Especially a lot of the major stuff. We will be live to watch it together, and we'll be able to come up with a consensus or a bias together, that can really put us in a great position, guys, in terms of how we're going to look at the markets. Now, I know some of you guys are probably thinking, Abel, bro, but why news, bro? I mean, news is really the driving factor of the markets, guys. Where you have to understand supply and demand is going to be dictated by the data that's getting released, right? Smart money is making decisions based off what the data is saying, right? That's just a fact. When smart money is playing around with what they want to do, they're looking at the data, they're interpreting the data, they're creating a sentiment behind that data, and then they're going ahead and they're pushing the button themselves, and that's going to move price. We should want to go ahead and align ourselves with what we believe smart money can do from a fundamental perspective, so that we can go ahead and ride with the big boys, right? We want to be on the side with the big boys, not the little dogs, right? We don't want to be aligning ourselves with the retail traders. We want to be aligning ourselves with the smart money traders, family. So that's the news can absolutely put us in a very good position to do just that, right? So that's why it's important, in my opinion, to be aware of what the news is. And so it's gonna be interesting to see what actually comes out for sure, right? So now that we got the actual news out the way, let's go ahead and get right into the actual markets. Now, again, we do have the young legend and Lion on the call with us today, and I want to go ahead and give my perspective on the dollar, and then I want to hear his thoughts on the US dollar as well, and then we'll see what type of consensus we can actually come up with, guys, right? But overall, I'm looking at the US dollar itself because I'm trying to see, all right, what can we really see the market do this week? Well, let's look at what happened last week. Last week we really didn't do much at all. We literally just went sideways this entire week last week, right? Like, there wasn't really too much movement whatsoever. Now, as we go to lower time frame, we'll be able to identify if there was any major breaks of structure and things like that. But from this perspective, guys, on the daily time frame, like, we literally did not do much at all. We've just been stuck inside of this range for the previous week. Are we going to get a breakout this week? I'm pretty damn sure we are. I mean, we have so much news on the calendar for this week. The market is going to decide one direction or the other, right? It's either going to pop up to the upside, or we're going to pop up to the downside to possibly come and capture some liquidity below these lows around 103,700, or even below the 102,500 level, right? So we're definitely going to see this thing, in my opinion, finally break out of this little bit of a range that we've been in for the past week. And that's going to be interesting to see what we actually end up coming out as. Now, what am I leaning towards personally? Well, I'm looking at this, right, and I'm still, in my opinion, I'm still very much long-term bullish this, right? So eventually, I do want to see this thing eventually spike up to the upside. Now, that does not mean necessarily that I want to see it happen right now, right? Long-term bullishness, guys, is long-term bullishness, right? So I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we actually seen the market spike down a little bit. I've been waiting for this level to get taken for a while now. I think for the past couple weeks, I have been literally marking up the same exact level right here, right? So I'm still long-term bullish, but I would love for us to go ahead and correct a little bit, spike below this 102,500, grab some liquidity, and then we go ahead and turn around and make our move back to the upside. I just think we have a lot of liquidity, guys, above these highs right here. A lot of liquidity above these highs. We have the imbalance as well, all the way up above these levels right here that I think we might want to target. And I mean, even when I look at it from a fundamental standpoint, right, a lot of the data that has been coming out recently has, in my opinion, really added a lot more fear to the market. The fact that, we do have obviously inflation above 6% is still very telling. The goal is 2%. We're at 6%, right? We still have some ways to go. From the labor market perspective, right? We have a very, very tight labor market, which is not going to bring any type of optimism or hope back into the markets, in my opinion, right? Because I'm thinking like the smart money right now, right? If I'm a big institution, right, and I'm moving billions of dollars around, I have to decide whether we are now risk on or risk off sentiment, right? For those of you guys that are new, risk on just pretty much tells us to turn the risk on, right? That there is a lot of hope, that there is a lot of optimism in the markets as a whole. right? Now, if we are risk off, that means there's a lot of fear in the market. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of doubt in the market as a whole. Now, for me, again, I truly believe that there's still so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's lingering in the market because inflation is still very much high. The Fed is still very much hawkish. In fact, next week, it's either next week or the previous week, we're going to see the next interest rate decision here for the Fed, right? And we're going to see if they are going to, obviously, I'm 100% positive they're going to raise it at least 25 basis points. But the way the labor market is, there's about a 1% chance that they could raise it 50. I doubt that they would, because that would probably really, really spook the markets a little bit too much. But there's always that chance, just utilizing and looking at the data that has been presented to us. So I'm still very much long-term bullish this thing, just for those reasons. Again, I think very logically when I come up with this stuff. I'm looking at the data and I'm asking myself, as a player that has billions of dollars, do you feel comfortable risking billions of dollars in the riskier assets, or would you rather go ahead and go towards the safe havens because there's still a lot of uncertainty, right? So I want to ask you guys in the chat family, right? If you guys were smart money, if you guys, were a large institution, a large bank, or even a central bank, right? And you have billions of dollars of access, right? And it's your job to go ahead and make a decision on whether you want to invest this billions of dollars into equities, into commodities, into crypto, aka the riskier assets, or if you would take that money and invest it into the safe havens like the US dollar or government-backed securities or treasuries, things like that. What would you guys choose, right? Really put yourself in the seat of a big institution right now. Right, what would you guys, based off everything that we know as of right now, what would you guys decide? Go ahead and answer that in the chat, family. Right, what would you guys decide? Are you guys invested into the riskier assets because there's some hope on the horizon? Or are you guys going to go ahead and just play the safe side, right? Be on the safe side of things and go ahead and go towards the US dollar or investing into some government-backed securities or treasuries? What are you guys thinking? Right, because this is real, especially if you're a fundamental, analyst, right, or at least if you're trying to really become, somewhat understanding of fundamentals. These are the questions you should be asking yourself now, right? Because it could give you some type of an insight as to what the market could eventually do. Right, so let's see: risk-off environment, water futures, bonds, more than one way. Safe havens this year is going to be choppy. Safe havens for now, not fighting the federal government. That's a great answer, Bert. Shout out to my guy Bert in the building. Appreciate you, Kosi, in the house. What's going on, Kosi? Appreciate you as well. Stand up. We got brother Joseph from Sacramento, California, with us this night as well. Shout out to you. I mean, yeah, it's a very tough decision, guys, right? Especially if you are, literally, if you have billions of dollars of assets under your watch, and you have to make the best decision. In my opinion, it's still a little bit too risky, right, to go ahead and put that money into the riskier markets right now, right? Again, it's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, right? But in my opinion, I'm probably gonna go the safe route, right? I'm gonna go ahead and start buying some government bonds or the yields, right? Government bond yields. Why? Because they're guaranteeing 4% returns right now, right? The 10-year government bond yields is giving out 10% guaranteed. Right, so instead of me trying to risk it over here in the stock market for a potential, right, for a very small chance, trying to fight the government or trying to fight the Federal Reserve more than anything, I'd rather go ahead and go the yield route and guarantee myself a 4% return for the next 10 years. Or even if you want to go to the 2-year bond, even the 1-year bond, right, those are even higher. Those are guaranteeing 4.5%, 5% returns. As somebody that has billions of dollars of assets, I'm personally going to want to go that way. I'd rather go the guaranteed route, right? It might not give you the most best return, but it's giving you the guaranteed return during these times of high inflation, during the times where the feds are actually hawkish, right? Where they're planning to continue to raise rates. Okay, so these are just things that I'm looking at, family, for right now, right? I'm making these decisions, and then I use this to go ahead and create a bias, right? So that's just a little bit of fundamental sauce overall. For me, I'm very interested to see how we actually do play out for this week. Keep in mind, this is what I would like to see. All right, I would love to see us some type of a pullback. Maybe go ahead and break this level, break these lows right here that I don't think are very strong. Capture some of these liquidity levels that are here. All right, and then from that point, if we're able to come down here, then I'll start looking for some longs. right? But the market doesn't even necessarily have to go that low neither. If we're being honest, the market could really just bounce off of this 104 200 as well. I don't know if I'm gonna be a little bit cautious if we do play off of that, but there is always that chance as well. I really want to see this thing start off bearish for the week and then potentially give us a nice move to the upside, right? So that's my personal bias here for the actual dollar index itself right now. Again, we do have Mr. Kyle in the building with us tonight. And Kyle, bro, what is your thoughts and opinions, bro? And you can definitely take over the screen share as well, bro. But what are your thoughts and opinions in terms of the dollar itself, right? And if you do have any setups that you're interested in as well, bro, by all means, go ahead and do that. I do have some setups as well that I want to go ahead and share with the family. But at least for right now, bro, definitely go ahead and let us know your thoughts and opinions in terms of the US dollar as a whole.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me go ahead and right. So, honestly, guys, got my camera on today.
Okay.
So I'm with you guys pretty much. I'm looking at this on the dollar. I've been looking at this honestly for like the past week and a half now. So, I've been looking at this candle to make a reaction off of. And, basically, I believe that we can get a nice bearish move to the downside off of this candle that we're playing off of. And, what we went ahead and did is, once we've tapped that candle, we went ahead and we created a nice reaction and left an order block. And that order block since then went ahead and broke some 1 hour structure. So we were making higher highs and higher lows on the 1 hour. When we go down on the time frames, we came up, we swept some liquidity. We haven't broke any structure and created some bullish structure on the 1 hour. So based off of this 4 hour reaction, we created a 1 hour break of structure and a 1 hour reaction to the downside. So I'm looking for that to continue. Maybe we can take some plays off of this to start off the week. Most likely maybe tomorrow morning, or maybe Asian session could just completely have us fall down from where we're at. But nonetheless, daily reaction is looking nice. So I feel like we can get some sort of follow through off of this candle and start the week off bearish for the dollar. I don't see myself flipping towards bullish dollar maybe until we reach some lower levels. But for now, I am actually bearish the dollar. Basically due to the fact that we reacted nicely off of this candlestick right here. And we created some more order flow, which we did retest on Thursday. And, like I said, it is following that as we speak. So unless we get some different data in the market that tells me otherwise, I'm going to continue trading towards this direction on the dollar. So what does that mean? That means any pair starting with USD, ending in CAD, Swiss, whatever I am looking bearish on, and any pair that ends with USD, starting with XXX, like Euro, GBP USD, gold, even actually gold is a different story. I'm actually still kind of bearish on gold, but GBP USD, Euro USD, any pair ending with the USD, I am actually kind of bullish on those pairs. That's what it means when I'm bearish dollar. So I'm looking for a follow through on this, and I do believe we will get that. Now, what that means for USD CAD, my pair over here, is that we can go ahead and see some more continued downside. Now, we were looking for shorts up in this area. Honestly, I did not catch this entry right here. Kind of wish I did, but on Friday I did catch an entry right here, and at the end of the day, I am writing that out. And I did actually take a nice little Asian session re-entry right at the mitigation of this 30-minute candle. So I saw a 30-minute live OB, I took it from right about here where I had the line at. I'm running like a 10 pip stop. It is actually right around entry, so it would be like about 11 to 12 pip stop if you decide to take it. I'm not really like, you know, this is something that, you can just take with a grain of salt. And if you like it and if you feel like it's something that you agree with, then, by all means, take that information and do what you please with it. The premium members did get the best entry. So if you are in our premium community and, you have been following me for a minute now, you guys know I've been bearish this thing. And I dropped the chart maybe like an hour before we started this session in our premium chat. So you guys are definitely in this thing with me. I'm looking at that thing to continue falling. I like this little distribution that we're forming. Everything is screaming bearish for me until we go ahead and break this. Like, I'm gonna remain bearish until we break this right here. Unless we break that, then I am still bearish. Now, we did come very close to it, so I'm not oblivious to that. But I do feel like the bullishness is over. The weekly candle that we're playing off of, if we were to go to the weekly, is this. I would say, like, once we break even this, like, I'm gonna start looking towards the bullish side. But for now, until the market gives me that data, I'm not gonna flip biases. I'm gonna remain with my bearish USD CAD bias. We are kind of playing off of this, so this little range I feel like can give a warrant a reaction to the downside, and this 4-hour candle can somewhat flip bearish. If not, then we will always reassess for New York session. New York session is where we'll get the most volatility out of our setups. And of course, you guys that are a part of premium will be in our live session. But, for now, like I said, I am looking for a follow through on the downside of USD CAD. And that does correlate with my dollar bias of this follow through to the downside off of this candle. But yeah, I'm looking somewhat bearish dollar.
Nice.
Now, at the end of the day, I also called this out in premium. So anybody that caught this, shout out to you. You guys are up. I don't really see any re-entries unless we go ahead and come down to this candle right here. I feel like the only way you would get me to maybe want to re-enter this thing is if we were to get a nice little sharp spike down, and we could play off of this candlestick. Why this candlestick? Because this is the candlestick that sweep liquidity, took out traders, and will rebalance price up to take us above these highs. So, that look for that for a re-entry at the 1.065 level. I like that a lot for a re-entry. You can mark that candle. You can mark that alert on your chart as a possible re-entry. For GU, I called out this entry on one of our live streams. If you're a premium member and you caught this buy setup with me on our live stream, go ahead and drop a $sign in the chat if you made some money off of that. There's a lot of you guys that are already in premium but still hop on our free sessions. And like I said, I called this buy literally right down here. The stop loss on this thing was literally 10 pips, man. Like, you guys were risking 10 pips on this thing, and it's already running at a 1 to 10, 110 pips. I'm gonna be honest, I actually closed a little bit early on this thing. Kind of mad, kind of not, because I did make money. But regardless, this thing is still running. I do believe we are gonna go ahead and clear these highs, give us a nice little 1 to 20 trade. I called this out last week Thursday on the premium live stream. And if you made some money, like I said, drop a $sign. For all of you guys that are not in premium and you see everybody dropping a $sign, just know that they're getting the first exclusive look at our signals. So I like that thing to continue up. Now, again, the same kind of idea for re-entries. I would look at this little down candle that sweep liquidity of some traders. I like to enter off of the candles that sweep liquidity, take out some traders, and for us to remitigate off of that. So, I have a little alert right here as well. So if you guys want to, kind of sort of copy my alerts, obviously, my alerts are there because those are levels that I'm going to monitor what price does at that level. And if it does give us a nice reaction, then I will enter off of that level. So don't just like take my alerts and just try to enter willy-nilly. I set certain alerts because I'm looking at price to see what it does off of these levels, and I will in turn enter the market if it gives what I like to see. So, that's pretty much what I would like to see on these dollar pairs. USD CAD is giving us a beautiful reaction. Anybody that caught this trade maybe entered off of from when I just spoke about it, it's definitely running some nice profit. If you did take that setup, just drop a dollar sign in the chat if you're in profit off any of our trades, honestly, because that thing is running nice in profit. It's actually up like a nice little like 10 pips from when I just started speaking about it. And like I said, anybody that's in premium is like already in from up here. So USD CAD is running up a bag. GU is running up a bag. We have setups already that are running up a bag. So, I like to do this prior to NFP. Like a lot of you guys like to want to like trade right at the news release. I like to actually get aggressive a little bit before the news release. So we're already in trades before the news release and we're already at break even. Like we're already at break even at some positions on UCAD. Once we break this, I'm going to go break even. We're already break even on GU. So it's kind of like we're going into the news release risk-free, plus we have some skin in the game. So regardless of what happens, we cannot lose. We either hit our break even and we don't make money. If the news release goes in the direction opposite of what we're thinking, for some people, once they're entering off news release and it goes in the opposite of their direction, their stop loss gets hit and their account gets blown. You see, for us, the way that we like to manage our trades and the way that we like to trade smart, we like to trade really smart in these markets. We like to work smarter, not harder. Even if the news release decides to whipsaw and go opposite our direction, we don't even lose money. We hit our break even. Now, if the news release does decide to go in our favor and in our direction, then guess what? It just pumps way more in our direction and we make even more money. So you like to, you like to really start positioning yourselves in this manner of the market, so you're trading less emotionally and more logically. So, shout out to you guys that are going ahead and dropping dollar signs in the chat. If you're not premium and you see all these people dropping dollar signs in the chat and you didn't catch some of these entries, go ahead and lock into that premium, man, because I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. You guys pretty much made your 130 back off of that already. And it's litty. What I will do is I will drop the link to lock into that. So shout out to y'all if y'all are in some bags with us, honestly.
Is it litty or litty?
It's litty. Litty bitty titty.
Yeah, I mean those setups look juicy for sure, bro. They definitely look good. Let's see. I want to actually answer a question real quick though that was asked. See what let's see, what was it? But what if the economy tanks again? If the economy tanks again, then that just means dollar strength, right? And foreign currency weakness. Let me actually go ahead and bring my camera up on the screen as well, right? If the economy does tank, guys, dollar's gonna go up, stock market gonna drop, commodities gonna drop, cryptocurrencies are gonna drop. If the economy does start to tank again. Why? Because when there's fear in the markets, right, economy dropping is going to add a lot of fear. That means everybody's going to go ahead and run towards those safe haven type of assets, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much what will happen with that for sure. All right. But, yeah, those look good, man. Those look very, very good, family. Let me see what else we got here. Let me actually show you guys what I'm looking at as well. Because I see a bunch of you guys talking about gold. And I'm actually looking at gold myself, right? I think gold is going to be a very interesting setup or opportunity for us for this week, right? Because the way that it looks like right now, family, right? Overall, gold has really been dropping since February. I mean, since the beginning of February. So for the past month, we have seen a lot of bearishness come in for gold overall. But recently we did find some steam. We found some momentum, guys, to really, bring us back up into these 1857 levels, right? But I think that we still have some more upside to go now, right? Especially now since we were able to go and break out pretty much, of this little pattern, this little descending wedge that we have here. The fact that we now finally are finding some momentum, I think that now that momentum and that order flow can definitely continue its its momentum to the upside overall. I mean, let's really go ahead and break this down too, guys, right? What have we been seeing? We've been seeing the market creating these lows, these highs, these lows, these highs, these highs, right? These lows, these highs, right? And then we ended up creating this nice strong push to the downside that ultimately created this last low level. Now this low level really started to create more of an accumulation where we started to slow down tremendously, but then we had this last little spike below this level of support right here that ultimately was enough to grab, it grabbed enough liquidity, guys, to really send us very, very strongly to the upside. Right now we're breaking, previous levels of structure on our way back to the upside here, right? So it's showing a lot of momentum now here for the bulls. For anybody that's that's a gold bull, we are seeing a lot of momentum to the upside, right? We did get a nice strong sign of strength to the upside. I think that order flow could potentially continue this week. Again, since we ended up breaking out of this little correction that we're seeing now, this could be the start, guys, of the market, really making its move back to the upside. There's a few different levels of liquidity that I'm pretty interested in. We already grabbed all these areas of liquidity here. We grabbed this liquidity right now. We still have this level right here that's very interesting in my opinion. And ultimately, I would love for us to now come up and retest all of this inefficient price action that we have up here, all the way above this 1890s. Yeah, I think above 1890s, guys, is really where we're headed now at this point, to go ahead and fill some of that inefficient price action. So what I'm interested for this week overall, right, and this could be something that actually happens tonight, so keep your eye on it, is pretty much this setup, right, that we see here, right? I would love to see if price can come back down to this 1845 area, retest back down near this level of structure down here, to then go ahead and give us a nice opportunity to, make our way back up to the upside. And the reason why I like this level itself, guys, is not just because it's structure, right? Structure is important itself, but it's what's happening, at this level of structure that's very telling to me, right? Because if we start going lower time frame, I mean, let's really look at structure from these smaller time frames real quick. Right, we had the market finally creating this high. We rejected initially off of this resistance point, right, which probably just probably made more people looking for sells, right? Because most retail traders do what? They look at a resistance point, and just because we're seeing some type of little minor rejections, a lot of traders tend to take that as reasons to go ahead and short this market. And what did the market do? It ended up running that entire level of resistance, right, which ended up grabbing all the liquidity from people that were looking to sell because there's a double top there. But look what happened, right? We ended up leaving behind this level of support as well, right? So now guess what? We run the highs, we leave this support behind. So when we come back down and retest this support, now people are probably thinking about looking for those buys because we broke structure. But do you think the market is going to make it that easy for you? Probably not. Right, so although we retested this support a couple times to entice buyers to go ahead and jump in, look what happened. The market said, nope, we're not just going to allow you guys all to go ahead and buy off of this level that easily. We're going to go ahead and run all of these stop losses, collect as much liquidity as possible. And that's exactly what happened, right? We ended up running this low right here, grabbed a lot of liquidity. We ended up coming back to retest this continuation block. And then the market just ultimately went and created new highs. Right, so that in itself, guys, is very, very telling, right? So now we created those new highs. Now we just want to see this pullback, right? Again, I do think that we are going to have bullish order flow overall to start the week here for gold. So if we are able to make our way back towards this 1845 level, right, probably just come down, break below here, 1845, I'm definitely comfortable enough to go ahead and take a stab at the market. Risk could go 1% on this setup. And the beautiful thing about it is, guys, I mean, just targeting back up to these highs, it's not the, I mean, it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward, right, which is valid in my rules. You could also tighten it up if you really want to get more technical and break it down in here, but I'm comfortable leaving it like this. A nice 3-to-1 risk to reward type of setup, just targeting right back up to here. Now, remember what I said. This could potentially, guys, really turn into a massive swing trade. right? This could go from a 3-to-1, right, just coming back up to structure, to potentially a freaking 10-to-1, right? Especially if we are going to come back up to this 1890 level, right? So that could potentially turn into a 10-to-1 risk reward, and that would be absolutely massive, right? You know, we're over here targeting 10 times our risk. So if we're risking 1% on this setup, guys, and if we are able to catch an entry and hold this thing all the way up to 1890, see, now we're talking about making 10% returns while only risking 1%. You know, if you're risking 2%, right, now you're going ahead and you're making 20% gains on that, right? I mean, even if you're being, you know, super conservative with your risk, right, and you're only risking 0.5% on this setup, which is also very fine, you're still going to be making 5% gains on this, right? That is actually pretty crazy. So I think it looks very juicy, you know. So this is definitely going to be a setup, guys, I'm keeping my eyes on for this week. It's definitely probably one of my favorite ones. So if we are able to make this thing come back to the downside, guys, that is exactly what I'll be looking for, right? A buy off of that 1845. You know, stop loss is going to be around 1840, right below this last. I don't want to come all the way back down, but I don't want to retest these wicks fully, right? Because again, if the whole concept of these wicks is that it grab liquidity, right, then it's probably not going to allow people to get out of these positions, right? There's a lot of traders, guys, that are probably still in these positions that are trapped. And I don't think the market is going to want to allow these traders that are now trapped with this wick out of the market that easily. So I don't want to see the market come back to these levels. That's why my stop is where it's at. Because if it does come all the way back down and starts testing these wicks, then it's probably going to end up running it. And then we might have to go ahead and look for a different scenario, maybe something like this, to go ahead and start targeting back down to here, right? But, you know, we'll get to that point when the time is right. For right now, this is definitely probably one of my favorite setups for sure for this week. That I'm going to be keeping my eye on for sure. Right, but let's go ahead and take a look at GJ. I know GJ is another one that I'm very interested in as well for this week, family. I'm very much still bullish on this thing. I'm looking for any reason to go ahead and go long once again. I am still holding a position down here. I still have one position from literally midpoint of February. I ended up calling buys out to the actual premium community. I'm still holding this position, right? So this position is still very much open. It's not much, only about 50% is left open, but I'm still in there. So now I'm looking for other reasons to go ahead and really jump in now, right? Now I'm trying to go ahead and add more buying positions into this market here, guys, for GJ. But where can we really look for entries from now, right? Where can we look for entries that make sense, that can give us a logical point of interest or a logical area to go ahead and jump in? I would love to see the market really come back towards this 161,800 level, if I'm being honest, right? If we're able to really come back down towards these levels of structure right here, I mean, there is a chance that we even do go lower, right? There is a very big chance that we go lower, even possibly back to where my initial entry was. In fact, I'm probably liking that a little bit better, to be honest with y'all. If we are able to go bearish, I would love to see price make its way back down to these 160s. You know, if we are able to make it to that 160, guys, then I would absolutely be targeting all the way back to the upside for sure, right? If it makes it that way, you know, we can target back up to the 165s. You know, we could target back up to the 169s, right? Again, I'm very bullish on this thing, right? I know other people are bearish. I'm very bullish personally, and I have my reasons, mainly from a fundamental perspective is why I'm so bullish on this. Just comparing central banks and comparing the policies of central banks, it just makes so much sense for the pound to be a lot more attractive than the actual yen right now, in my opinion, of course. Just because, again, look at the central banks, guys, right? Great Britain itself, right? The Bank of England, their interest rate is very high, right? Why? Because their inflation is still very high, right? They're still dealing, guys, with crazy inflation. I believe it's still above 9-10% over there in the UK, which is absolutely insane, right? That type of inflation where it's at still, it's probably going to benefit the pound itself. And when you compare it to the Japanese yen, where they're still very much in the process of easing, right? They're still at negative rates. They're not doing anything whatsoever to actually help their currency gain some strength. That's why I'm still very much bullish the pound yen, because the pound is still, in my opinion, a lot more attractive than the actual yen. Until the Bank of Japan starts to actually create rumors of a shift, I'm going to continue to stick with this idea overall, right? So yeah, I would love to see us make our way, if possible, back to that 160. Again, that is a very far ways away. I'm not sure if we are going to get back down there. because price does not have to really get back down there. We are creating all these higher highs and higher lows, higher highs. We just seen this new higher high just created. So it is also very possible that we just come back down maybe to this 162 level and then make our way higher. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that as well. But I'm still very much bullish this, guys. I'm just now in the process of waiting for the right time to go ahead and pull the trigger on my next opportunity, right? So maybe around, again, this 162 300, I'll be very interested to see how we react from there to then potentially go ahead and make some longs to the upside, right? Maybe something like this we could potentially look for here. Let me see. Yeah, maybe something like this we could potentially go ahead and look at here for GJ, right? And it's going to be a very good risk to reward, right? A very, very good, very juicy risk to reward. Obviously, we like to trade in real time. I'm really not that much of a pending order trader as much as I used to in the past, right? Especially now that we're doing these live New York session streams with our premium. We're all about, trading in real time, right? Market execution. So depending on how we play off down at these levels, depending on how the market gives us, that can go ahead and cause us to go ahead and jump in, right? But that's really, really what I'm looking for. I'm very interested in that setup as well. It's going to be one of my go-tos for this week as well, right? Let's see what else we got here. First on call, that's a nice bag. Gold going long. This week, sellers will be convinced GJ is bullish after those negative rates stay the same. Yep. Exactly, Eric. I know me and Eric have been having similar biases here for GJ. Overall, we've been doing really, really good, right, in terms of what we've been predicting. And I still have a lot of confidence in what I've been, riding out for a while now, right? I'm still very much a GJ bull per se, right? So now it's just a matter of finding the next best entry. All right, so we'll see what happens though. If the market is able to go ahead and get us into these levels of interest, then I'll be going ahead and pulling the trigger for sure and seeing what comes from that. Let's see what else we got here. GJ can tank. It's very possible, all right? GJ could go either direction, but in my opinion, I'm pretty positive that we're gonna go long-term bullish again once we go ahead and maybe run this trend line right here, right? We have a lot of trend line liquidity being built up. Obviously, I don't look at trend lines maybe like the most retail traders do. I look at this trend line and say, man, there's a lot of liquidity below there. So I want to see this trend line get ran. And then once we run that trend line, I'll start looking for reasons to go ahead and go long. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for sure. Let's see. Thank you guys for doing the free Sunday calls. 100% Kayla. I mean, we've been doing these Sunday calls now for months, right? For a while. I think specifically on this channel, we've been doing it since maybe September, October, November. We don't have no intentions on slowing down. These Sunday calls are very valuable, not just for our community, but for anybody that just randomly finds us on YouTube. We appreciate all you guys that are new to our sessions, right? If this is your first time, guys, on one of our sessions, then go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat real quick just so that we can see. Because I want to formally welcome you to the family. The moment you watch one of our sessions, you are officially a part of the Prophet Society family. And I want to go ahead and just show you some love overall because we appreciate every single one of you guys that are on the call for sure. All right, but let's see what else we got here. What do you feel will be SPY open tomorrow? That's a good question, right? The SPY itself, I really don't know, right? Let's see. I'll look at, the SPY is the SPY itself, right? But I'm gonna look at the S&P 500 instead of just directly looking at the SPY. And we ended up getting a lot of strength last week, guys, right? Especially for these indices overall. There was a lot of momentum, a lot of strength came into the markets. And it's interesting to see what really ends up coming up, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here, guys, for the S&P 500 overall. So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at what the order flow has been. Overall, we have been extremely, extremely bearish pretty much to start the year, obviously because of a lot of the news and the data, a lot of the fundamental side with interest rates going up. Interest rates going up, guys, is not going to benefit the indices or the stock market whatsoever. All right, so keep that in mind, right? Indices, whenever they are going up or they are expected to go up, that is very bearish for the indices, right? Point blank, period. That is very bearish for the stock market. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Why? Because we're still raising rates and we're still planning on raising rates. So although we did see a very nice strong push to the upside to start to end the week last week, I'm interested to see how far we can actually go. All right, I'm actually going to be looking at overall, guys. Like I really would love to see price pretty much come in, run this level right here, right? This 4,000 level, 4,080. So I'm still going to continue this bullish momentum that we're seeing. Maybe we see some type of a minor pullback back into one of these levels of structure, but either way, I still want to see this thing continue at the very least up into this 4100 level, right? Maybe come up and test, this nice little order block, you could say, or continuation block, whatever you want to call it, right? Everybody has their own terminology for this, right? But I'm interested to see us really come up and, retest these levels right up in here around the 4100 for sure. So I'm still very much bullish indices, at least to start the week. But depending on how data comes out, remember, we have a lot of data for this week, guys, right? Especially the ones that are going to influence the indice market is probably going to be right here. Whatever Jerome Powell says has the ability to influence it. Right here on Wednesday, again, it can influence the ADP non-farm employment change, can influence JOLTS job openings, can influence that, right? The initial jobless claims, I mean, this is a weekly release, so it could influence, but it might not do anything, right? But then on Friday, non-farm and unemployment rate will absolutely influence the indices overall. So depending on how the data comes out this week, right, this could either make this continue to fly and break new highs, which I don't know if we're going to do that, or it could send this thing, falling back down to the face of Earth, right? So we'll see what happens overall. I personally think that we will end the week. It's just my opinion. I personally believe that we would actually end the week bearish indices. It's just my opinion, right? And I'm using the data itself, guys, and what the projections are for the data to pretty much come up with this bias, right? I'm utilizing the rumors of what they expect to happen early on to make that decision. So although I think at the start of the week we're probably going to be bullish, I think by the end of the week, because of the data we see, I will be more so leaning towards bearishness overall, right? So that's pretty much my bias. Again, I could be completely wrong, but because obviously the data is the data, depending on how the data comes out, it would obviously help this bias or completely, make me on the wrong side of the bias for sure. Right, so that's pretty much where I got as well for the indices. I think it's going to be a very interesting week overall, especially for the indice market. I'll take a look at NAS as well. I mean, it's going to be very similar. Obviously, those indices usually move very not identical, but they move very similarly. So I would love to see, guys, this thing go ahead and make its way up. I'm very interested to see how we actually end up reacting up above these highs for, the indices, at least for NAS. Maybe start looking for some shorts above 12,500. That could be a nice area to go ahead and start to look for, reasons to go ahead and sell this thing back down, in my opinion. All right, so that's how I'm going to be playing that as well overall. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Hit that like button. Yeah, 100%, guys. Definitely go ahead and smash that like button if you guys are getting some value tonight. All right. Go ahead and like the stream one time if you guys are getting some value. Remember, our goal for tonight is 100 likes. We have 130 people on the stream right now, so if just every single one of you guys smash that like button one time, we can go ahead and smash that goal within the next 2 minutes, and I will officially call you guys some savages because you guys are amazing, and we love you, and we appreciate you guys for doing just that. So definitely go ahead and smash the like button one time. All right, let's see. Those forecasted numbers for GDP pound is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is very interesting. Let's go ahead and see where they're at real quick, right? As of right now, I mean, from a month-to-month perspective, let me actually see if they're showing the year-over-year as well real quick. Let me see what we got here. Apply. Let's see. Are they showing the year-over-years? No, they're not, right? But, yeah, look at the pound GDP numbers, right? Last month or last reading ended up coming out negative 0.5%, right? That means that their GDP has decreased by 0.5%, right? Again, GDP, guys, gross domestic product, and I'm gonna say this in the most simplest way possible to understand what GDP is, right? GDP just tells us how an economy is doing. Is it growing or is it actually contracting? Is it growing? Is it contracting? Is it expanding or is it contracting? Right? Last month, their economy actually contracted by 0.5%. Now, looking at what the rumor is for this week, this is the rumor. The forecast is the rumor, right? The forecast is actually that they're going to grow by 0.1%. So even if it does come out as projected, like that's really not that drastic, right? 0.1% is close to 0.0%, right? So I don't think the market itself is going to I mean, we're going to see some type of reaction just because it is GDP. but I don't think it's going to be that drastic, right? Because it's not going to be too much of a major change. Now, just because of where GDP is, or just because of where the pound is, though, this is the one thing that can influence GDP for sure for the pound. If we end up coming out higher than what is predicted, then that is probably going to cause a massive sell-off of the stock market over there in the UK, right? That's going to bring a lot more fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the markets if we come out higher because of where they are in terms of inflation, right? Inflation is above 9-10% still, which is kind of crazy, right? So any number higher than the projections is probably going to bring pound strength, but it's going to bring a lot of weakness to the equities over there in the UK for sure. Anything lower than 0.1%, it could bring the opposite, right? Because now we're seeing their economy contract, which could help them fight inflation, right? Economies contracting is good data when we have environments of high inflation, right? So that's going to be interesting to see how it definitely comes out on Friday. And it's going to be interesting to see what the market does end up doing for sure. Right, but that's pretty much where we're at over here, guys, in terms of the news. Kyle, my brother, I appreciate you, bro. Do you have anything else? Because I know I got the setups I'm looking for, bro, and paying attention to is definitely going to be gold. Just a little recap, and I want Kyle to recap what he's looking at as well one time for you guys. My recap, I would love to see if we can make gold make our way down to this 1845. We are gaining some strength right now, so maybe we can see a nice little spike above that highs, grab some liquidity, find some supply, and then push us down into that level to send us higher. That's what I would love to see for sure. So I'm looking for buys on gold this week, and I'm going to be looking for buys on the pound as well this week. Okay, so those are going to be my two setups that I'm really going to be focused on more than anything for sure. Right, now, Kyle, what are you looking at again, bro? Go ahead and just remind everybody of any of the setups for anybody that might have just jumped on one time so that they are aware of what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, just for anybody that's just now hopping on, I'm going to recap the DXY for you guys. So I am looking at the DXY to continue following through from this reaction that we got on Thursday off of this candle. I really like this. We went ahead and we created some new order flow. Once we reacted off of that, we created an order block, which we did retest. And we caught some entries off of there towards the bear side. And now I'm just looking for that thing to continue following through. And I'm going to be trading towards this direction, towards the downside to begin the week. What that means for the US dollar pairs, any pairs that starts with US dollar, ends in XXX, so like USD CAD, USD Swiss, bearish on them. Any pair that ends with the dollar, like Euro USD, GBP USD, I'm looking for the continuation towards the bullish side. EU, looking for it to go ahead and warrant us above this high. If you didn't catch this entry, I called this entry out to the Profit Society premium members. They are running up a bag. If you want a re-entry, I did mark this alert right here at this 1.0605 level. I will be monitoring that as well. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday if we can get something like that. GU, this entry was also called out to the premium members. We are running on this thing. I'm looking for it to warrant us above these highs and get that continuation. If you're looking for a re-entry, I have my alert here at this 1.200 level, so 1.2 flat. 1.2 flat is very, very interesting for me because I like this candle. It's a candle that swiped liquidity. And, if we are going to go ahead and continue breaking above that high, this would be an ideal re-entry. USD CAD, I am still on the bearish side for this thing. It's looking like it's distributing. We're getting that potential spring up here. And I do feel like we can continue to the downside on this. I called an entry for the premium community and you guys that were on this stream. This 1 hour candle didn't even form yet. So we started the stream at 9. So this 1 hour candle was just now forming. I told you guys I was selling off of this 30-minute engulfing. This 30-minute engulfing enticed me to enter the market. We went ahead and we entered the market with like a 10 pip stop. And we are running in profit on this thing as well. I'm looking for a continuation, a follow through. We can break these lows. I will be going break even once we break this regardless. So we're almost at that break-even point. We're already at break-even on EU and GU. So, hopefully this thing does continue in our favor. Again, I want to see USD CAD continue. If we do get a spike up, maybe you could re-enter. But for now, we are in profit on all positions on USD CAD to continue to the downside, and same with GU. So, if you position yourself in the markets correctly this week, you should be having a very, very low risk week, but it could warrant us a high reward if NFP does give us that bearish dollar reaction that I'm looking for. And, that does actually correlate with gold, honestly. Now that I'm reanalyzing gold, I am just going to go ahead and start buying this thing. Honestly, no reason to go against our long-term bias.
Yeah,
If we look at gold on a weekly, monthly time frame, this thing is bullish. It's no reason for you to be long-term bearish gold, especially after this weekly engulfing. This weekly candlestick reaction and gave us a weekly engulfing. That can give you a very good consensus that the next week will most likely be bullish as well. Maybe we could retest into this a little bit and get some retracements for you guys to grab some entries. But nonetheless, I am bullish on gold long term and for the intraday. No reason for you to second guess yourself and start going bearish, because in the long term aspect, macro bias aspect, we are bullish gold. So continue to look for those bullish gold entries. Abel caught out a nice trade off of some levels down here, and I do agree with that. So if you are in agreement with us, you would really like to start looking bullish gold, because gold is a great long-term investment, and it can also be a great investment into your MT4. You could be catching some entries here on gold at 1800, and later on swing these things when gold breaks this 2000 level, which we will, these equal highs up here. Then you could be in some great swing positions buying gold at these premium levels. So I really like gold to continue to the upside, and I really like and that does correlate with our dollar bias. If we do continue getting this follow through, like I said, gold is a pair that has USD at the end. So if the dollar continues and gives us that follow through, and you are in agreement with that, there's no reason to be short gold, because gold has USD at the end. It is technically a dollar pair. So, if we do get that follow through, then gold will most likely just continue to the upside. So, I like these setups that we're in, and I like to see this follow through on the dollar as well. Now, if you guys do have any pairs that you would like for us to go through that we may not have gone through on this stream, feel free to go ahead and drop them pairs right now. There's some of you guys that look at some pretty interesting pairs. Like, I know some of you guys that trade like GBP CAD, or like GBP odd, or like Euro odd. Like, there's some interesting pairs, some interesting exotic pairs that personally I don't trade. I really just like to stick to my EU, GU, and UCAD. Every time I'm on these sessions, or anytime I'm on the 8 a.m. New York sessions with you guys, I'm really only looking at EU, GU, and UCAD, because those are the pairs that I like to stick to, and I see the most success trading those pairs and those pairs only. But nonetheless, I can still look at these other pairs for you guys. Will I be executing? No. But I can definitely give you guys some setups on things that you guys are looking at. I see USD CHF in the chat. Somebody dropped CHF USD. I don't know if my broker has that pair, but if it has that pair for you guys, then by all means, like, look at that. So CHF USD. I'm actually leaning towards the bearish side on this thing. If we look at the weekly, we are mitigating off of this candle right here. I would actually like this thing to continue, especially after this reaction. If we go down to the daily, we got a reaction off of that candle on the weekly, but now that when we go down to the daily, we have a nice little daily engulfing candle. So Friday, we closed the daily candle as an engulfing. Um, I like to see us warrant a continuation off of that. If we go down to the 4 hour, it's really not much except for maybe this. Um, if we even get back up that high, but that's something that I do like to mark, this 94290 level. If we were to look at the 1 hour, this thing actually gave multiple entries, so I'm not even sure if it will come back up there. But you might as well mark this 1 hour candle at 9420. 9420 for my guy Jerson in the chat. Might as well mark an alert there and see how that reaction plays. Nonetheless, this thing is just looking like USD CAD. It's just looking like it's distributing. And I would have preferred to grab entries here because I feel like it could just drop from where it's at. But if we do get some sort of spike into one of these candles, definitely monitor that reaction. Definitely monitor the reaction off of one of these candles right here. I'll make that a little clearer just so you can kind of see. So like right here and like right here are nice candles that I would like to see reactions off of. And when you guys mark these candles, majority of the times the candles that we give out give nice reactions. So nonetheless, I'm looking at the same direction on USD CHF that I am on USD CAD. It's just whether or not you'll get a reentry or not. And, I hope so for the sake of your trade. But, it's looking like this thing is just going to continue to the downside and, warrant us to somewhere down here as a target, especially after this daily candle closure. I'd like to see the next day or the day after that, Tuesday, give us more of that downside move. Now XAU USD, we did actually kind of go over that already. Honestly, how do you feel about USD CHF? Do you feel like you're in agreement on that? Yep, I agree. This is kind of like a disgusting pair, but they said you're muted.
How did I even get muted? I don't even know. All right, but like I was saying, family, because I was just talking hella shit about USD Swiss, by the way. But like I was saying, right, like USD Swiss is one of those pairs that I just really don't have no interest in even trading. Just look at this thing, right? It hasn't done a damn thing, guys, since 2010, 2011, right? Like Kyle was like 5 years old back then. Like, Kyle was like 10 years old since the last time this thing stopped ranging, right? Like this thing is disgusting. So like, it's just one of those pairs that I get it. Like if I am gonna trade it, it's more so just based off of the correlation with the dollar itself. Since we might be expecting some type of dollar weakness to start the week, that's probably what I would lean for. But this is definitely not one of those pairs that I really focus on because just look at this thing. It's disgusting. Like nothing there interests me whatsoever. Like this is a gross pair in my opinion. Right, so if you are going to trade it, just trade it based off the correlation with the dollar. If anything, that will probably be the safest bet. But don't expect it to start ranging anytime soon. It hasn't ranged in it over 12 years. right? In 12 years, it has not seen like an actual real trend. It's been ranging for 12 years, no actual trend. So just be mindful of that. You know, play the highs and the lows and just get in and get out with this type of pair, because it's absolutely gross. It's definitely one that I try to avoid for sure. Right. So yeah, that's what we got about that in terms of USD Swiss, in my opinions.
I see them dropping some pairs.
Let's see
They
what else
said,
we got. Let's see. When are you gonna launch the clothing brand, Abel? I mean, we technically have the Profit Society one. If that's the one you're talking about, you might be talking about the other one I'm working on. But Profit Society clothing brand itself, guys, should be fully up and running this week, right? So if you guys do want to support the mission, if you guys want to support our vision, if you guys want to support the brand, we will have the website up this week for you guys to go ahead and actually purchase. And hopefully you guys are able to get some good gear off of that. But yeah, that should be up this week. We're working on a bunch more designs. That's really the only thing we have to work on, is just a few more designs, because the website is already finished. Everything's already done. We just need more designs to put up there for you guys, so you guys are, looking very, very good. Now, I would say this, right? If you guys are planning on going to the FX Summit, right, I do want to just show some love to the FX Summit real quick, because we're actually going to be out there. The FX Summit, guys, is probably going to be one of the biggest trading events the entire year sees, right? So if you guys do want to, pull up to an event, guys, that's going to be, ran by traders, for traders, mainly Forex traders at that, then yeah, the FX Summit is going to be the place to be. It's going to be June 9th. I believe it's June 9th through the 11th. I'm going to take the screen share one time, Kyle, just so I could do some promo. Right, because we're going to be here. The FX Summit is going to be the place to go, family. So don't sleep on this. Please, please, please do not sleep on the FX Summit. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal time. We're talking about 3 days. 3 days of events. 3 days listening to your favorite traders. 3 days listening to... listening to people that you guys probably follow here on YouTube. All right, like, this is gonna be the place to be, guys. Right, so please make sure to be there. Again, even if you guys just want to learn from us, meet up with us, this is where we're gonna be. June 9th through the 11th, Miami Beach Convention Center. If you guys ever needed a reason to come to Florida and you've never been to Miami, well, now you got your reason, family. So go ahead and purchase that. We actually are going to be a part of this event as well. I plan on actually speaking, so it's going to be an absolute fire event as well. Shout out to Roy and the Chart Addicts team for actually putting this together. I know it's going to be a phenomenal event for sure, right? So go ahead and grab these tickets. I actually do have a coupon code, for you guys as well. If you guys want to get 10% off, you guys can come here, family, buy these tickets, use coupon code ABLE10, right? Use coupon code ABLE10. I'm going to put it in the chat. Use coupon code ABLE10 for 10% off, right? This is literally exclusive to you guys, right? I don't even know if there's any other communities or any other individuals that have coupon codes for any amount, right? But since, my guy Roy is my guy, and, I pretty much put him on to a lot of the basics when he started trading, he shows me a lot of love, and he shows the Profit Society a lot of love, right? So coupon code ABLE10 if you do want to get 10% off of the tickets. And yeah, it's an investment, family. It's an investment into your education. And if you guys really understand this stuff, I mean, for anybody that owns a business, this is a tax write-off at the end of the day, right? I'm personally going to be, writing off anything that I spend for this event. Why? Because I'm a business owner, right? And we're going there as a business. So everything that I spend for this event, whether it be the ticket, whether it be, the food, whether it be, the yacht, whether it be the cars, it doesn't matter. All of that stuff is a write-off for me. So you best believe I'm gonna go out there, because I need write-offs anyways. Like, I'm tired of paying in as much money as we pay in, right, Kyle? Like, we need write-offs.
Yeah. No lie, we just copped a nice little penthouse for this John. So
yeah.
we're gonna be up in the sky with some nice views. Yeah. We're gonna be pulling up to this event. We're gonna be downtown in Miami. So see a couple people saying that they're in Miami or they'll be there for the event. So definitely link up with us. Y'all see us out there amongst the best traders in the world. So y'all know the vibe, man.
Yo, Eric, you're hilarious. Listen, I want the IRS to hear, because this is actually business expense, all right? Again,
this is a true business expense.
Like, for you guys that don't know, family, like, any type of mentorship that you guys are spending money on, right? Whether it's an actual course, whether it's an event like this, all that is tax deductible, right? Like that's all tax deductible, right? So IRS can enter, and at least they know that I'm doing things legit, like, right? But we need these write-offs, man. Especially, yeah, I'm not gonna get too deep in it.
No,
Right?
that's
Yeah,
a fact.
we need
If
these
you invest
write-offs,
in
man.
education,
That's a
going
write-off.
to events, buying tickets, hotels, all that's a write-off. When you join the private society and you get started with us, that's also a write-off of
That's a fact.
education.
That's a fact. Everything's a write-off, family. Especially when you own a business and you're doing it through your business, man. You could write off a lot of stuff, right? And that's game that, again, we're gonna be giving a lot of people as well. Now, the cool thing, like we mentioned, guys, we do have a pretty nice spot that we ended up grabbing. So anybody that's a part of the actual Profit Society, right? Like if you're a part of the actual family, a part of the community, then after the event, we're gonna have our own event. All right, the events after the events are usually the best type of events because we get real personal, we get deep, we really figure out what your goals, your intentions are. We have just a real one-on-one with you guys. All of our students are gonna be there, and I think those are gonna be the most powerful hours that you guys have because we're really gonna dissect why your whole purpose of doing this is, and we're gonna give you guys a lot of insight as to how to really get to the next level for sure, right? So for anybody that's a part of the Profit Society, you guys will have access to pull up to our Airbnb, and we'll be able to kick it the entire weekend, just have some fun, chill, ask questions, and just really get to know each other on a more personal level for sure, right? So that's gonna be lit.
The penthouse we grabbed has like a nice building with a nice pool. You guys that are premium members can come by poolside, come chill with us, learn from us. We'll have a nice little event session. We'll be giving y'all some gems. But also y'all get to hop in the pool with us, see what's good. Like really, really, really rock out with us, man. It's like y'all are getting access to us, man. If y'all are in the premium,
yeah, it's gonna be dope. Let's see. Are you gonna go to the yacht party after? Yeah, for sure. Again, anybody that, and just put this out there, anybody that does grab the VIP, all right, there is a lot that comes with it. Like a lot. I know some of you guys are probably looking like 2,000, bro. That's a lot. Well, it could be, obviously, but it's an expense. It's an investment, guys, right? It is an investment to get you access to the knowledge and access to the individuals that are actually doing this. Imagine being on a yacht. Imagine being at dinner surrounded by the best traders in the world, the best traders on YouTube, the best traders in social media, right? Like that is access, guys, right? That's power, right? If you get in the room around a lot of the people that are actually doing it and that are successful, it's going to motivate you to really get in your bag and absolutely take this thing a whole nother level. Trust me, I've done lots of events. I've been at lots of events, and I've gotten so much from just being around people that are doing so much better than I was that it motivated me to actually go ahead and be better myself as well, right? So trust me, this is absolutely worth it. Obviously, if you just can't put up the 2,000, just make sure you're in the building, right? Just make sure you're in the building. Being in the building itself, guys, is very, very important for you guys to be there, just because you will still be able to learn a lot. Being at the event itself is just extremely powerful. Come to learn from the people that you guys watch on social media and on YouTube anyways, and it's going to put you guys in it's going to really change your guys' paradigm for sure. I didn't really think
somebody literally just texted me like, yo, is the 2,000 worth it? There's some of you guys in here that do have the money to invest, and like it's 10% off. So if you do grab the VIP, that's $200 off. You're getting it for $1,800. You get dinner with the actual speakers. You get to be on the yacht party. You get to get in early. You don't have to go through no lines. You're basically like already getting that VIP treatment. You're getting that 7-figure earner experience. So if you want to become a 7-figure earner, you might as well start getting these 7-figure earner experiences. So at least be in the building, honestly.
Yeah, at the very least be in the building. But obviously, if you really want that next level experience, then yeah, try to get the higher tiers. Let's see, I didn't really think twice about the 2K. I just bought it. Yeah, Eric, that's the way to do it. I'm telling you. It's gonna be a phenomenal. I'm actually excited to see you, Eric, as well, bro. Be able to link up with you, on the yacht. Toast to our GJ going to our 175. Toast to me making $100 off of this bet. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, Eric, for sure. Right? So it's gonna be a dope thing, man. I'm excited for it for sure. Let's see, Abel, have you ever thought about starting your own prop firm? I mean, in the future, prop firms are one in a dozen nowadays. Everybody's launching their own prop firm nowadays. And maybe in the future we'll do that through the Profit Society as a whole. But for right now, not really. We are actually in talks, though. I will say this: we're not launching our own, but we are in talks, guys, with a few different prop firms that we're probably going to be working with directly, right? You know, we've been on meetings. I mean, the past few weeks, we've had meetings, guys, with a bunch of these different prop firms, a bunch of these different brokers, you know, just trying to make sure that, for one, all of them are legit, and for two, you know, we're comfortable enough to actually start promoting whether, you know, these prop firms and these brokers. So we've been talking to a lot in the back end for y'all, especially for anybody that's a part of the Prop Society, to, you know, figure out that they're legit and also get you guys some deals, you know. So be on the lookout for that for sure. Let's see, does this ticket only cover you, or you can bring a guest? This only is for one person, right? So the ticket only covers you. Let's see, if I'm gonna be trolling by Skaggy. Yeah. We're gonna have Skaggy out there, man. We're gonna have Skaggy, man.
We're gonna be staying in downtown Miami, right in the shopping district. So
yeah, we're gonna be right there in downtown Miami for sure. It's gonna be not too far from the actual convention center.
Yeah, very close to the convention.
Let's see, Swaggy C starting. Not everybody's starting their own prop firm. I'm telling you, everybody is. Literally everybody. Let's see, I got 50% off. Hey, Wally, send me that code then.
Hey, I need that.
Word, send that to us, bro. We need that as well. Then if you got 50, right, at the very least, I can guarantee you guys is 10. You know, if you got more pull, then send it that way, Wally, for sure. Right, but family, I believe that's pretty much all we got for today. It's gonna be a phenomenal week for sure. I'm excited for this week. You guys seen the setups that we're looking at. Definitely, you know, take advantage of it. You know, if you guys agree with it, take advantage of it. If you guys don't, then by all means, you know, rock out with your bias overall, right? But I do know it's gonna be a phenomenal week. If you guys are not inside of the Discord family, we do have, you know, the community aspect of the Discord, so anybody can join our Discord for sure. So if you guys want to join the Discord, you know, we'll go ahead and send that link as well in the chat real quick, and just join the Discord even if you're not a part of the premium, you know, because we're still active, guys, as well, you know, even in the actual regular community aspect of the Discord. Appreciate you, Kyle, for dropping that. So definitely go ahead and join the Discord family, and we'll go ahead and do what we got to do. All right, but family, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with us tonight. I'm excited for this week, and I'll be talking to you guys in the Discord if you guys are in there. But besides that, have a good one, y'all. We'll talk to you guys later.